The Cabinet has approved the draft of the National Adaptation Plan 2023-2050. The approval came at a meeting with Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in the chair at her office today. The meeting also approved the draft of the agreement to be signed between Bangladesh and Brunei for bilateral flight operations. Besides, the Cabinet sends back the draft of the National Identity Registration Act 2022 to the Home Ministry's Security Services Division for further scrutiny. The Cabinet also approved the National Insurance Day into a day of Class A from Class B, and the circular issued by the Cabinet Division to observe the day accordingly. Begum Khaleda Zia is out of jail on account of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's generosity. However, if the BNP leaders start dreaming of something unusual like Amanullah Aman, then the authorities have to think of sending Begum Zia back to jail. Information and Broadcasting Minister and Awami League Joint General Secretary Dr. Hassan Mahmood said this in response to queries from reporters after a meeting with journalists at the Secretariat today. The Information and Broadcasting Minister said the comments of BNP leader Ruhul Kabir Rizvi on human rights activist Sultana Kamal lack etiquette and decency.
আমি সুলতানা কামালের প্রতি যথাযথ সম্মান রেখেই বলতে চাই, তিনি একজন মানবাধিকার কর্মী। তার অনেক বক্তব্যের সাথে আমি নিজেও একমত নই, বেশিরভাগ বক্তব্য সরকারের বিরুদ্ধে। তাই বলে তাকে ব্যক্তিগত আক্রমণ করে কথা বলা, সেটা শালীনতা বিবর্জিত। যেভাবে রিজভী আহমেদ তার ব্যাপারে বক্তব্য রেখেছেন, বক্তব্য রাখতে গিয়ে বলেছেন আওয়ামী লীগের দালাল। এখন কখন রিজভী আহমেদ মির্জা ফখরুল ইসলাম আলমগীর সাহেবকে বলে বসেন যে উনিও আওয়ামী লীগের দালাল, সেই শঙ্কার মধ্যে আছি। তার এই বক্তব্যটা আমি মনে করি শালীনতা এবং শিষ্টাচার বিবর্জিত হয়েছে। বেগম খালেদা জিয়া মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী বঙ্গবন্ধু কন্যা জননেত্রী শেখ হাসিনার কৃপায়, বদান্যতায় তিনি কারাগারের বাইরে আছেন। আমানুল্লাহ আমান সাহেব একটা বক্তব্য দিয়েছেন, সম্ভবত আমানুল্লাহ আমান সাহেব স্বপ্নে দেখেছেন। এরকম উল্টাপাল্টা স্বপ্ন দেখতে থাকেন তাহলে সরকারকে ভাবতে হবে যে মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী যে কৃপা বা বদান্যতা দেখিয়েছেন সেটি আদৌ দেখানো প্রয়োজন কিনা, নাকি তাকে কারাগারে পাঠাতে হবে।
Responding to another query on BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir's comments that the Pakistani era was better than that of Bangladesh, Dr. Hassan Mahmood said after such comments Mirza Fakhrul should not have rights to do politics in Bangladesh.
পাকিস্তান প্রীতি, পাকিস্তান আমল ভালো ছিল বলা মানে পাকিস্তানেই ভালো ছিল, তার অর্থটা কি দাঁড়ায়? তাহলে বাংলাদেশ হওয়াটা সঠিক হয় নাই, এটাই তো বুঝায়। তো মেজর জিয়া মেজর থাকলেই ভালো ছিল, কারণ বাংলাদেশ যদি সৃষ্টি না হতো মেজর জিয়া তো মেজরেই থাকতো, মেজর জেনারেল হতে পারতো না। এই বক্তব্যের মাধ্যমে মির্জা ফখরুল ইসলাম আলমগীর সাহেব আমি মনে করি আমাদের মুক্তিযুদ্ধ, স্বাধীনতা, মুক্তিযুদ্ধের শহীদ সবার প্রতি অবমাননা করেছেন, এবং এই বক্তব্যের মাধ্যমে তিনি বাংলাদেশে রাজনীতি করার অযোগ্য হওয়া উচিত বলে আমি মনে করি।
A Dhaka tribunal today sentenced 7 people to death and 3 others to life-term imprisonment for killing Mymensingh Sheshashabak League leader Masjidur Rahman Shuvro. 9 others accused in the case have been acquitted of all charges. Judge Munir Kamal of Dhaka Speedy Trial Tribunal 3 handed down the verdict this morning. Those who have been sentenced to death are Malikanda Union Chairman Ridwan Goripur Municipality Chhatra Dal leader Saqib Ahmed, local Sheshashabak Dal leaders Muzammil Haq, Khairul Islam, Mainuddin, Ruhul Amin and Shariful Islam Naim. On the other hand, Masud Parvez Chhatra Dal activist Shariatullah Shumun and Jubadal activist Russell Mia were sentenced to lifetime imprisonment. Shuvro, the General Secretary of Goripur Upazila Unit Sheshashabak League, was hacked to death on October 17 in 2020. Later, the younger brother of the victim, Obaidur Rahman, filed a murder case at Goripur police station. Police filed a charge sheet accusing 19 people on April 27 last year. We now begin with international news. Russian missile strikes rocked Ukrainian cities early today, including the capital Kyiv, Lviv and Dnipro. Ukrainian police say the first strikes on Kyiv in 4 months targeted the city center and left at least 5 dead. Western leaders condemned Russia's sickening act and reiterated support for Ukraine. The attacks follow an explosion on Saturday which struck a key bridge linking the Moscow-annexed Crimean Peninsula to Russia. Russia's Putin blames Ukrainian special services for masterminding a terrorist act, but Kyiv has yet to not directly claimed responsibility for the bridge attack. Malaysia's Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob has called early elections after months of political infighting among politicians in the ruling coalition. Speaking on state television, Ismail Sabri said that the date of the election, which has to be held within 60 days of Parliament's dissolution, would be announced by the Elections Commission. The election was not due until September of next year, but Malaysia has been riven by political power struggles since the United Malays National Organization UMNO was toppled in May 2018, the first time it had been out of power in more than 60 years, amid the multi-billion-dollar scandal at 1MDB, over which former Prime Minister Najib Razak has been jailed. At least 76 people have been reported dead after a boat accident in Nigeria's southeastern state of Anambra. The boat, which was carrying at least 80 people, capsized on Friday in the Ogbaru area in Anambra State. Most of the victims were women and children trying to reach safety after the community had been inundated by floodwater. President Muhammad Buhari offered his condolences to the families of the victims in the tragic accident. Officials said the boat had suffered an engine failure and hit a bridge before capsizing. Mulayam Singh Yadav, a veteran Indian politician and three-time Chief Minister of the country's most populous state, has died after more than 6 weeks in hospital. Yadav, who was 82, entered politics in his 20s, rising to become Chief Minister of the northern state of Uttar Pradesh in 1989. Fondly called Netaji, or respected leader by his supporters, Yadav became Uttar Pradesh's Chief Minister for the second time in 1993, a year after a Hindu right-wing mob demolished the 16th century Babri Mosque in the town of Ayodhya, triggering nationwide violence. He and his Samajwadi Party emerged as advocates for Muslims, who make up a sizable minority in Uttar Pradesh. In recent years, he handed over the leadership of the party to his son Akhilesh Yadav. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us. We request you to follow the health guidelines. Please wear a mask and stay safe for Corona. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.